Hello everyone, today is 14th of March, now it's 15 to 10 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for the day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. There are quite a few very significant developments and news that I like to share with you for this moment, and because there was no reports about some crucial changes on the line of contact, I will start with the media reportings straight away. So RIA Novosti's report that according to Russian Defense Ministry, during the previous night, Russian air defense systems shut down 14 Ukrainian drones over the Belgorod and Kursk regions. 11 drones was shut down over the Belgorod region and 3 drones over the Kursk region. In this particular news, no reports about casualties or more or less significant damage on the ground. Next is TASS News Agency's report, which is based on article in Financial Times, Western media outlet. And according to this information, Ukrainian armed forces are planning to demobilize about 300,000 military personnel and replace them with newly mobilized or forcefully mobilized reservists. And of course, many of you know that Kiev regime is planning to mobilize additional 500,000 reservists. And there is two main reading of this information that is circulating in internet right now, and both can be true simultaneously. One is that since the beginning of special military operation, it's already 2 years, by the way, more than 2 years at this point, Kiev regime artificially inflated number of its military personnel, and Zelensky and his associates, including in high-ranking leadership of defense ministry, they were stealing money that's supposed to go to this imaginary army, these tens and possibly hundreds of thousands of fake names that never existed in reality as members of Ukrainian armed forces. So Kiev regime was stealing salaries that were allocated for this imaginary military, and also money that's supposed to go for support of this fake soldiers and officers. Can you imagine how much money is that on monthly basis? And because scrutiny from the Western side is increasing about spendings of Western finances by Kiev regime, it is likely that maybe Zelensky and his associates want now to shut down this scheme. They already stolen probably hundreds of millions of dollars in last 2 years on this scheme. And that's a possibility, undoubtedly. And also there is another reading of the situation, of this information, which is that by publishing information that some 300,000 militaries will be demobilized, among those people, of course, there will be real soldiers that will be demobilized. Some percentage, 10, 20, 30%, maybe real soldiers. Another 30%, these inflated numbers, fake names that Kiev regime was using to steal money that's supposed to go for salaries and equipment and so on. For these fake numbers, and another 30% can be, or even more, can be Ukrainian soldiers that are KIA'd, killed in action, or missing, maybe in Russian custody. And by doing so, Kiev regime will minimize casualty numbers, because they will artificially create explanation for themselves and for the public where those thousands and thousands of people are. And Kiev regime will say, you know what, they were mobilized, and then who knows, they may left country. A government has no responsibility over the fate no more. So this is the true reading of the situation. Both may be true, but when it comes to mobilization of additional 500,000 military personnel, Kiev regime definitely has serious issues with this, and almost on daily basis, me and many other commentators and journalists are publishing on our channels on Telegram, for example, videos of kidnappings of Ukrainian citizens to be then forcefully mobilized and sent to the front line. And it seems like Kyiv regime is struggling more and more with this mobilization process. So I really doubt that they will be able to forcefully mobilize another 500,000 people in Ukraine. It don't really seems realistic. But anyway, let's continue with some other news. And articles report that Ukrainian militants caught lying about incursion in Russia. For whatever reason, maybe they are too stupid, really. These Ukrainian saboteurs from that were operating under the Ukraine's military intelligence orders are continuing to publish some videos as if they are on Russian territory and conducting some military operations, when in reality they've been debunked. Of course, this attempt to invade Russian territory from Kharkov region failed miserably for Kyiv regime. Up to 250 Ukrainian military personnel or saboteurs were neutralized by Russian forces, 7 tanks, number of infantry fighting vehicles, including Bradleys, armored personnel carriers, other type of military equipment. And of course, Kyiv regime was unable to achieve anything at all by this attempt to conduct incursion on Russian territory. But some clowns from Ukraine's military intelligence continue to publish videos if they really are on Russian territory, and they've been debunked, by the way, even by some Ukrainian channels, because for example, this picture here is made, from a recent video that was published by these clowns, and this picture was geolocated, and it's made, this picture made in a village not far away from Russian border, but in Kharkov region, on Kyiv-controlled territory. Probably all of you know already about this, idiotic actions of Kyiv regime, but well, RIA Novosti is also reporting about it, and I decided, you know what, maybe for some members of our community this is some kind of this is a news. Maybe they did not see debunking of these claims from Kyiv regime, and well, now we all know. Also, interesting information that RIA Novosti, by the way, Russian news agency, continues to publish information about talks in the Ukrainian armed forces and among high-ranking officers of secret services and also among commanders of Ukrainian neo-Nazi formations on military coup in Ukraine. And today, additional portion of information was published by RIA Novosti. In this particular case, I'm using Lenta Room, a media outlet, but originally information comes from RIA Novosti, and now we have not just statements from RIA Novosti, or not just a partial information, but a little bit more details, including call signs and the names, by the way, of some of the Ukrainian militaries that were discussing regime change in Ukraine, including taking over the Ukraine's parliament. During the discussion, they were even coming up with the idea that they have to create some special force to basically exterminate Ukrainian MPs that wouldn't obey orders. And well, for example, call sign of one of their Ukrainian commanders is a Parabellum. Okay, it may not say much, but also, for example, in these conversations were participating someone on the name of Maxim Shevtsov. He is a commander of intelligence 18th separate assault brigade of Ukraine. So this is commander of the entire brigade. This is high-ranking official, colonel at least. Interesting, isn't it? Also, Spiridon Kalinkarov, former MP and a member of other Ukraine movement. I don't know what that movement is, but this time, as I said, names already have been published, and well, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy to confirm authenticity of this information or confirm the opposite, because now, as I said, it's not just a statements or just a news bulletin, but we have concrete evidences, we have names, call signs, and so on. So let's see how will this situation develop. I have one question. I have many questions, but one of the question is, why Russian secret services or whoever the source is for RIA Novosti is sharing this information? Because basically by doing so, they are allowing Zelensky and his associates to protect themselves from a possible military coup. I mean, well, in one hand, one may say that, you know, by sharing this information, Russian secret services are basically pouring fuel onto the ongoing confrontation in Ukraine between Zelensky's camp and Zaluzhny's camp. And these people, by the way, discussing that Zelensky have to be replaced by Zaluzhny. This is one of their main goal. But in other hand, by publishing this information, Kiev regime is in a place now that they can use this information to conduct some purges in our forces and the secret services. So I don't know what kind of complex game is being waged by Russian secret services by sharing this information to public, but something is definitely going on. You share your opinion, what is your reading, but it's interesting. It's quite interesting, and I believe RIA Novosti most likely will come up with more detailed information in upcoming days. Anyway, let's continue. And RT's report about destruction of Ukrainian helicopters. Probably many of you did see these videos on Telegram. I also shared this video on Telegram, but if you have not seen it, then yesterday these videos were shared yesterday. Russian armed forces, Russian military intelligence find out location of a temporary base for Ukrainian helicopters on Kiev-controlled territory of DPR, I believe. And initially, as you can see here, this area was targeted with cluster munition, and as a result of it, I guess 2 helicopters received damage that did not allow them to take off. Third one managed to take off, although most likely it also had some damage. And then, with precise strikes, Russian armed forces destroyed these 2 helicopters. Quite epic footage. And of course, a serious blow for Ukrainian armed forces, because to lose 2 helicopters in a single day and third one was damaged, that's quite a setback, let's say, for Kiev regime. And now, before I continue, dear friends, let me remind you, if I may, that this channel, small media project of mine with several channels, several programs, exists solely thanks to support of members of our community. And I will be immensely grateful if you will also consider to support my work with small donations through PayPal, Boosty. This is Boosty, by the way, since I was cancelled by Buy Me a Coffee. I'm using now Boosty, this platform, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. You can see all the links in description box under this video or in the pinned comment. That's been said, let's continue. And by the way, I have yesterday some members of our community send me donations through Boosty, so it works. It definitely works, and it's quite easy to use this platform. No any harder than buying me a coffee, really. And you can also subscribe. It's not just a single donation that this platform is useful for, but also you can subscribe and support this project in a long term if you want to. But if it comes to subscriptions, paid subscriptions, of course, I have a Patreon on which I'm working quite actively for quite a while now. RIA Novosti's report that Switzerland made a statement, officials in Switzerland made a statement that they want Russia to participate in upcoming peace talks about Ukraine. And we have a response from Russia. Maria Zakharova responded on this information, and she said that Switzerland's peace conference is basically oriented to discuss this initiative of Zelensky's peace formula, which is totally unrealistic nonsense. Totally unrealistic and nonsense, and therefore Moscow has no time to participate in some nonsensical conferences. Same time, Moscow is ready to have a conversation, to have a talks on a serious grounds, that will take in account Russian interests. Anything else, Moscow don't cares, which is only possible right approach, I believe, because what is the point to participate in conference and then discuss Zelensky's peace formula, so-called peace formula, in which, by the way, one of the major points is that Zelensky is demanding from Russian side to withdraw all the forces to the borders of 1991, which is not happening, by the way. And after this point, there is not even any need to read rest of this so-called peace formula, because it's crap. It's just crap. But same time, not just Maria Zakharova or Russian Foreign Ministry, but President of Russian Federation himself said quite a number of times that Moscow is open for negotiations, but on serious grounds and on serious topics with serious guarantees that whoever is from other side will not lie when they will sign or agree on something. And of course, whenever some talks will take place, those talks will have to take in account Russian position and Russian security concerns and Russian interests. It's simple. It's simple. RIA Novosti's report that, expert analyst from Sweden, Lars Bern, in an interview with a Sweep TV, made a quite interesting statement. Interesting because in Western media you don't really see anything like that often. And this expert basically said that because Western ruling elites are unable, or collective West is unable to defeat Russia on a battlefield, or to defeat Russia with this proxy war that Western ruling class is waging against Russia, this can be interpreted only in one way, that hegemony of the West that lasts for last 500 years is coming to its end. And well, he is absolutely correct. He is absolutely correct. Everybody in this world sees that hegemony of the so-called West or Western ruling class that lasted for centuries, by the way, is definitely coming to the end. And sooner Western ruling class will realize this and come to the terms that world is changing and multipolar world is the next step for humanity, better for everybody, better for the Western world and better for rest of the world. This is just really obvious stuff, but it's interesting that Western media outlet is talking about it. On Western media outlet was a discussion about this topic, because usually from Washington, from other major capitals in the West, you hear very different narratives that West is stands for protection of democracy and some Western values. What the hell is Western values, man? I mean, does anybody knows what is the Western values? Same-sex marriages and that kind of stuff? If so, then you know what? Western ruling elites can keep those values to themselves. We don't want it. Rest of the world don't want to have anything to do with Western values, man. We don't need it. Thanks. Just stay away from us. And I believe society, significant number, I don't know, I mean, majority or not, but I believe significant part of Western societies themselves want nothing to do with these so-called Western values, because those so-called values are in conflict with real values of people and families in the West. Real traditional values. If I am wrong, write me in a comment, by the way, but I want to believe even vast majority of society in the Western world thinks the same way, that they are not on the same page with this Western ruling class when it comes to these so-called Western values, because they are not values really. Real values are family, traditions, history, culture. That's what is real values. Not this nonsensical crap that is pushed over the societies in the West for last, especially in last decade also. And unfortunately, people even afraid to speak about it in the West, many people, because they can be cancelled straight away. They may lose jobs, and there were so many cases of that, isn't it? Anyway, let's continue. TASS news agencies report that ambassadors of EU in Brussels agree to allocate another 500 billion euros for Kiev regime. What a surprise. What a surprise. And well, this process will continue, by the way. As long as Kiev regime exists, this process of constant financial aid will continue. Otherwise, Kiev regime will collapse. Ukrainian so-called state institutions will collapse, because the budget deficit in Ukraine is some 40% at least. And without Western aid, without money of Western taxpayers, Kiev regime would not be able to pay salaries for hundreds of thousands of people, for millions of people, by the way. Kiev regime would not be able to pay pensions to also millions of people. Kiev regime would not be able to do anything really. And as International Monetary Fund stated like 2 months ago, without Western assistance, Western financial assistance, Ukraine will collapse just in a matter of a few months. That's how it is in reality. And that's why Ukraine is a fake state, by the way. It's just a fake state that exists only because of this financial and military support from the West. On its own, Ukraine will collapse just in 2 months' time. And everybody knows this. It's only is that Western ruling elites, for whatever reason, are trying to or choosing to act if they have no idea, and if Ukraine is a leading democratic country in this world and paradise on the planet. Anyway, let's continue. The analysts report that high-ranking German officials, by the way, from government of Scholz, are criticizing Chancellor of Germany for its unwillingness to agree on deliveries of Taurus long-range missiles to Kiev regime. And we have names here. Minister of Finances of Germany, Christian Lindner, is criticizing Scholz, and also Vice Chancellor and Minister of Economy of Germany, Robert Habeck. So this is our members of Scholz's cabinet, his own government. I mean, what kind of government is that? That they are basically not just criticizing their boss. Criticism may be useful in certain circumstances, but they are basically embarrassing themselves and their own leader, because if they are disagreed, then who keeps them in this position of ministers? Why they are not resigning? Because after all, it's Scholz that was elected as Chancellor of Germany, or appointed as a Chancellor of Germany, not these individuals, whoever they are, this Christian Lindner and this Habeck idiot. Isn't it? German government is total embarrassment, man. A disgrace. Just disgrace, man. Why Minister of Finances in Germany, Minister of Finances and Minister of Economy is even talking about long-range weapon systems? How crazy is that? Are they military experts? Are there leaders of German's military? Why they don't just shut up and listen to real experts? And because of this nonsensical stuff is going on in Germany, German economy is in trouble, and Germany as a state is in trouble. Because, I mean, this is crazy, by the way. Here in Russia, there is no way Minister of Finance is going to start talking about some issues that are concern of Defense Ministry, because it's not their business. Minister of Finance should talk about some other topics that is his business. Same goes for any other minister. I don't think Russian Defense Minister will start now lecturing Russian Prime Minister how to run government, or Minister of Economy how to run his ministry. How crazy is that, man? I mean, I don't know. And if that is democracy, by the way, this nonsense, this chaos that is happening in Germany, this when there is no subordination, no one cares about nothing serious. If that is democracy and that is democratic government, I don't need that. And I don't think anybody needs that kind of government, man, and that kind of democracy. You know? No, thanks. Anyway, let's continue. Scholz, Macron and Tusk will have a meeting tomorrow in Berlin to resolve some issues that they have. Most likely they will talk, of course, about yet again, by the way, I know everybody is tired nowadays with this topic of German long-range missiles. If they're going to be some kind of game changers or something, you know, I mean, come on now. Only reason why Russia is paying attention to these Taurus missiles is that they have a long range, and potentially, you know, they can be seen as a strategic weapon system. And that's a whole different story. Otherwise, when it comes to missile itself, for Russian air defense systems, it don't really make any difference. It's a Storm Shadow needs to be destroyed, British long-range cruise missile, a French Scalp, or German Taurus. From Russian air defense systems, all those missiles gonna look the same. And they're gonna be destroyed in the very same way. But anyway, tomorrow there will be meeting between these leaders of the European states, anti-Russian coalition, let's say. First, initially, there will be meeting between Scholz and Macron, and then Donald Tusk, Prime Minister of Poland, will join them, and probably some statements will be made, who knows. I believe it's today, isn't it, that President of France, today or tomorrow, that President of France is planning to make some address to French society on topic of Ukraine. That's also kind of crazy, isn't it? President of France is addressing nation not on the issues that really matters for citizens of France. No, he will address on topic of Ukraine. I mean, come on, man. Why entire Europe is turning into some kind of crazy circus, man? What is going on? I don't know. How long ordinary citizens in Europe gonna put up with this nonsense, by the way. I mean, it's crazy. When they gonna act? I don't know, man. Anyway, let's continue. RT is reporting that another NATO member state won't rule out sending troops to Ukraine, and this NATO member is, by the way, very scary. You cannot imagine how scary this NATO member state is, because it's Estonia. Estonia, by the way. Can you imagine that? Estonia won't rule out sending troops to Ukraine. I don't know how many troops Estonia has, like 20, 30, maybe 1,000 or 2. But I mean, just do it. Just do it, Estonia. Don't be shy, you know. Send the entire EU army into Ukraine. And let's see how long it will last. Like week, 2 weeks. Just do it, man. Enough talk. Do some action. Because at this point, I mean, everybody is laughing at this so-called leaders of the Europe, man. Everybody in this world are laughing at them. What the hell, man? What an embarrassment for not just for Europe, but for everybody, really. I mean, I feel sorry, man, for European states with great histories, by the way, great culture, and now they have leaders like they have, that are total disgrace and embarrassment. Wow. Anyway, let's continue. RIA Novosti's report that yet another superpower, by the way, yet another superpower in the Baltics, under the name of Latvia, made a statement that they're going to be iron curtain between the Baltic states and Russia. And this was said by Prime Minister of this superpower, Latvia, by the way. Latvia Siliņa, or Evika Siliņa. I don't know is female or male. This Prime Minister of Latvia, I don't really care. Can be both simultaneously, and also another 100 genders that Western ruling class have in their minds. But yes, I mean, this is so scary stuff, man, that Latvia is, I mean, wow. Latvia said that they're gonna be iron curtain with Russia. Okay, we are so scared, man. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's continue. Sorry, dear friends, but I mean, I find it really difficult to take seriously this quasi-states, man. This is not even states in reality. I mean, let's be real here. This is our quasi-states that, I mean, are not even relevant for its own citizens, man. Even their own citizens don't care about this Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, man. I guess 50% of the people there, or everybody who could run from those states, already did it. You know, and only people left is officials that are using their position to enrich themselves, and the elderly people that cannot, I mean, they are elderly people, where they're gonna go? That's it. These quasi-states have no future, man. And they are acting or trying to act tough, you know, and just look, we don't afraid Russia, and we're gonna put some troops in Ukraine and fight, and we're gonna build the Iron Curtain. Do whatever you want, man. Who cares? Anyway, let's continue. RIA Novosti's report that, well, Russian Foreign Ministry warned Austria that countermeasures will be taken from Moscow, and Austrian diplomats will be forced to flee Russia as a response for non-friendly steps from Austrian side, which demanded from 2 Russian diplomats to flee country. Okay, Austria, I mean, if Austria also wants to be in this on the spear, if Austria also wants to spearhead this anti-Russian hysteria in the West, then be welcome. I mean, what can we say? You can, you can shut down your embassy entirely, and we will do the same. And okay, let's do this if you want to. Artists report here that U.S. held secret talks with Iran, according to Financial Times. The administration of U.S. President Joe Biden reportedly held behind-the-scenes negotiations with Iran to solicit Tehran's help in pressuring Yemeni Houthi rebels to halt their attacks on commercial cargo ships in the Red Sea. Wow. U.S. is a true superpower, by the way. Unlike this Latvia, Litva, Estonia, and that kind of quasi-states, U.S. is a real superpower, and still, even U.S. time to time finds itself in a situation that well, they can do no much, and they need some assistance, even from so-called arch enemies. And Iran was asked about help. Informations about it were circulating for several months now, and well, talks between the U.S. and Iranian representatives most likely did not went down well, or maybe Iran was unable to influence Houthi rebels. Whatever the case, we all know that attacks on maritime routes in Red Sea and Gulf of Aden continues, and even escalates since US and UK started their military operation against Ansar Allah movement or Houthi rebels. Situation, this Red Sea crisis become even more severe. So, maybe Iran tried, because I believe it's not in Iran's or anybody's interest really, this trading route to be cut, because it destabilizes situation in the region even further. But yet again, because Iran has some connections, and because Iran supported Ansar Allah movement or Houthi rebels, does not mean that Iran is in control of this movement. This is a mistaken understanding and reading of the picture from the Western side, that because Iran is connected with them, they must be in charge. They are not in charge, by the way. Iran may give them some recommendations. Same goes with Hezbollah, by the way. If you ask Western so-called experts, they will say Iran is this and Iran in that, and Iran can order something to Hezbollah. Iran cannot order to Hezbollah nothing, because Hezbollah is an independent organization on its own. And just because they have connection with Iran, don't mean that they're going to take any orders from Tehran. It's so simple, by the way. Iran is supporting resistance organizations, resistance movements in the region. That's all. But that definitely not means that Iran is in charge of those organizations. But seems like Western ruling elites, Western so-called experts cannot wrap their head around this. Because they used to relationships where they are dominant force and they are ordering everybody what to do and when to do it and how. When rest of the world operates with a little bit different rules. Anyway, let's continue, and I will end this update with this news about some economical stuff. Inflation in Russia in February was 0.68% according to Ross statistics, and year-on-year inflation reached 7.69%. Well, of course, 7.69% is a big number. It's not low number. For economy, like 1-2% is ideal, I believe. But still, by the way, 7.69 is not as dramatic number as probably Western ruling elites were hoping with by imposing these thousands and thousands of sanctions, up to 20,000 at this point, I believe, the sanctions that are imposed on Russia. So yes, this is numbers, by the way. Hopefully inflation numbers stay below double digits. But let's see. It's too early to call for now. And this is it for now. 39 minutes, 40 minutes. Well, I was hoping that update will be a little shorter, but anyway, hopefully you will find this video interesting, informative, useful, maybe somewhat entertaining. And if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything, any topic. And more likes and comments, of course, will help, as I understand, to deal with the algorithms on both platforms, YouTube and Rumble, to reach wider audience. And for very same reason, please consider to share links to my videos or my channels with your friends. I'm a little tired, isn't it? It's not easy, by the way, to talk non-stop like 40 minutes or hour about news and politics and that kind of stuff. It may look easy, but it's not always the case. But anyway, if you can, please share links to my videos or my channels with your friends on any of the platforms that you are actively using. And yes, have a great day. And take care. Bye for now.